Hi Stampers, this is Dawn and today we're going to make a Slimline card. This is the card we made at my Glitter Queens retreat this past, I guess it's been 2 weekends ago. This is the card that Davette brought for our shoebox swap, and oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. I fell in love with it not only because of the products that she's using, the brightly gleaming designer paper, the copper foil sheets, but we get to make a Slimline card. It's all like on trend right now. So I haven't yet made one. And then when Davette brought her shoebox swap, I was like so excited because this is like the first time I'm ever going to make a Slimline card. So I was pretty geeked about it. So, but I am changing mine up a little bit. I'm actually changing the color to the mossy meadow. She used the pretty peacock. And then I'm also using the vellum cardstock where she used the sparkle glimmer paper. And then I'm keeping the Merry Christmas off of mine. First of all, because I don't have the die, which is, I believe it was called the Word Wishes, and it's in the annual catalog. But I think that that's where that Merry Christmas came from. And I don't have it. So if you have it, that's great. You can add the Merry Christmas. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so let's start with the base. This is the Mossy Meadow cardstock. This is cut at 7 by 8 1/4, and you're going to score it at 3 1/2. So that's your Slimline card. You can make them a little bit longer and a little bit wider if you want, but I'm going with Davette's measurements. And then a piece of the copper foil sheet. This is cut at 3 1/4 by 8. And you can actually cut your poinsettia flowers out of this section, at least a couple of the sizes. But I went ahead and already cut mine out. And I'm going to show you how to cut them out, at least with the dies, because it's a little trick there to them. All right, so then the brightly gleaming designer paper is cut at 3 by 7 3/4. And then I also cut a couple strips. These I'm going to do is I'm just going to layer it on here and then trim it down. So if you want the actual measurements, the measurement is 1/4 inch by 8 1/4 inch by 3 1/4. Okay? And then a piece of Very Vanilla, which is going to be for the inside. This is cut at 3 1/4 by 8. And then, like I said, I used the vellum cardstock to cut out my little baby's breath. I cut 3 of those out right here. And then I cut the 3 poinsettia layers. So the large, the medium, and the small. Okay? And I'm going to cut one of them out with you to show you what I did. All right? So let's go ahead and start there. Let's grab our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, which is available now. Yes! All right, so let's grab that. Okay, so this is the poinsettia die collection, and I'm going to cut this medium one out here. But what I did to the medium one, I also did to the large and the small. Okay, and then also your baby's breath is also in here. This is a beautiful collection of all kinds of dies. And it coordinates with the Poinsettia Petals stamp set. And we're going to be using the May the Magic and Wonder bloom this holiday for the inside of our card, as well as this flower right here for the inside. So I'm going to grab the copper foil sheet. I'm going to show you exactly what I did here. So when you get your dies, this is the embossing part of the flower and then the cutout. So let me show you here. Let me show you the large one. So you can see that it embosses it too. Okay? So we're going to emboss it and cut it out at the same time. But when you get your dies, you'll probably be wondering how to line them up perfectly with the cutout outline of the die. So what I did is I took a black Sharpie marker, and once I found out the way it lays out perfectly to line up with each other, I took the Sharpie and I made a mark on the outline die and then the embossed die. So whenever I use this die, this is where I need to line it up at. Okay, so that's what I did to all 3 of them. And then we're just going to go ahead and die cut this out. I'm actually going to move this over a little bit so the edge doesn't get shown on the designer paper. Flower with it die cut and embossed. Isn't that beautiful? All right, so that's how I cut out all 3 of the layers of the poinsettia. So let's go ahead and move the die cut machine. So we're going to bring in our designer paper and our strips of the copper foil sheet. I'm going to use the liquid glue for this. And I'm going to attach my strips. So the card actually looks like a present. Well, at least it did when we were making it. So I'm just going to attach my copper across the center. And then I'm going to cut this end off. Okay, and then this end should be enough to cover, yep, it is. So, or you can use your one piece of 1/4 inch by 12 to get both measurements for the card. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to put this right about there. Okay, we're going to cut that one off. So there's our present looking of the designer paper part. So then for our flowers, we took each of the petals and we took our bone folder and we kind of gave it a curl. I'm going to do that to all the petals. Okay, and we're going to grab some dimensionals. We're going to put a dimensional on each of the layers. So we're going to put one on the medium. And then we're going to position it onto the larger one like staggered. So you're going to put it like in between each of the petals, just like that. And then the next size one. Just like that. Isn't that beautiful? And then what Davette said for us to do was take our paper piercing mat. Yes, this paper piercing mat is still available, even though it was on our retirement list this last year, but they brought it back. So it is available now. Okay, so then she had a paper piercing tool like this one, and she used the end of that. But I'm just going to use my liquid glue, and I'm just going to press that down to make that flower do a little raise. Did you see it when I pressed down? See how it raises up a little bit? Just gives it another dimension to that flower. And then we're going to put 3 dimensionals on the back side of that. We're going to set that aside. Then I'm going to actually put some more liquid glue on this. We're going to add this to the copper sheet. So pretty. Remember, you can cut out at least two of the poinsettias on the back side of the copper, which is what I went ahead and already did that. Okay, so then we're going to put this onto the base of our mossy meadow. So beautiful. We're going to take our 3 little pieces of our baby's breath right here. So let me take those out. These are in the vellum cardstock. Okay, so then I'm going to take my poinsettia and I'm going to put my baby's breath right behind on the dimensionals with the poinsettia with the baby's breath. So I'm just going to position those, making sure they click to the dimensionals on the back side. Well, maybe one over here. Yep. So there's my embellishment. Now we're just going to put this right on the center of that crisscross area that we put our little strips with the copper foil sheet. Then one more thing we did was we're going to put some rhinestones, the champagne rhinestones, to the center of the flower. And we did them in a cluster of 3. Just to the center. So pretty. Isn't that beautiful? So pretty. And then, like the other one that we made at the retreat, you could put the Merry Christmas on there if you wanted. All right, so let me go ahead and finish the inside of the card now. So we're going to grab our vanilla, our very vanilla piece of cardstock with the Mossy Meadow Classic ink. I'm going to go ahead and stamp the greeting first. And then we're going to take the flower. We're going to stamp a little bit in the corner on the top right and then the bottom left. Okay, so there's the inside. I want to keep the stamps out because we're going to stamp the envelope as well. So we're going to go ahead and grab our liquid glue. I'm going to put this on the inside. just like that. Now you could add some Wink of Stella or even more of the champagne rhinestones if you wanted to the inside. Isn't that pretty? All right, now these are the envelopes that I got. They are available at really any store, even at Kroger's or your dollar store. But what's nice with these Slimline cards is because you have these, I think these are like an A10 envelope. And what I love about this size of the Slimline card is because they fit into this envelope and it takes a regular size postage. Don't you love that? Okay, so I think I'm going to stamp one over to the side. Right over here. Okay, isn't that cute? And then the card fits perfectly inside. It's actually a little bit small for this size envelope, but it depends on if you're making, you know, a thicker or a more embellished of a card. It will be nice for that reason, that you want the envelope to be a little bit bigger to accompany that size of a card or that thickness of a card. But yep, so it fits right inside there. Isn't that nice? So these envelopes you can buy anywhere, at Walmart, you know, Kroger's, dollar store. So, but they're the A10 size envelopes. So let me bring Davette's back in. Okay, so here's the one we made with Davette. And of course she used the word wishes for the Merry Christmas. That was optional to add to her card. And then here's the other one that's like this one. Okay, so if you have any questions, just let me know. And I'll have all the items listed down below. Then don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any future videos. Okay, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you later. Bye.